We're going to talk about the 5 myths that are keeping you poor, and I want to talk about the truth about money and finance. And here's the deal. If you are broke or you are struggling financially, most likely it's not your fault, and here's why. But before I go there, staying broke, that is your fault. So if you're not going to start paying attention, you're going to learn about this stuff, that is on you, but it's probably not your fault why you are where you are. And here's the thing. The system is designed. It is set up to keep you struggling. They want to get you in debt. They want to put you in a bad financial situation, and they want to keep you there. And what I want to do right now is I want to expose these myths, and I want to talk about those. And here's the deal. If you don't know who I am, I'm Brian Lessinger, and I'm 54 years old, and I am financially free. And let me tell you, everything I taught about money and finance, I learned from my family. I learned growing up. I learned in school and college. But most of what they teach you out there is absolutely wrong. And people still believe these lies. They believe this nonsense that they talk about. And if you don't wake up and you don't start getting your financial house in order, you are just going to work forever till the day you die. So we want to talk about that today. We're going to get right to it. This one's going to be quick and short. And here we go. So here's myth number 1, that you need a high-paying job in order to get rich. And the truth is, building up what I call, instead of rich or wealthy, whatever, is financial freedom. To get to a place of financial freedom, you don't have to make a crazy high income. It helps. The more money you make, you can get there faster and sooner. But some of the people that are in the worst financial positions are people like doctors and lawyers, because you know what? They know how to make money, but they don't know how to save and invest and treat money properly. And I know a lot of people that make a lot of money that are just completely unhappy. And the point of this is to be happy with your financial situation. So what you have to understand is how to figure out and understand what you're making, what you're spending, what your overhead is, and have a financial plan put in place. Making more can be helpful, but is not the be-all, end-all. You do not have to make a high income in order to win at the game of money. So number 2, this is a ridiculous one, is that debt is normal and everyone has it. Well, it is not true. The only debt I have are mortgages on buildings. Was it always that way? No. But it is amazing what happens when you have no car loans, no student loans, no medical loans, no personal loans, no payday loans, no loans to anyone else other than my house payment, which in some ways, as long as you're smart about purchasing your home, you're going to have rent or somewhere to live anyway. So that one is a little bit different. But if you get rid of all this other debt, it's amazing what happens to you, because then what you can do is start making payments to your emergency fund, your long-term retirement, your short-term retirement, put money aside for your kids' college, education, put money away so that someday you're going to need maintenance on your car, maintenance on your house, just having money to be able to take vacations, upgrade your life, but at the same time, do it smartly. And I'm telling you, if you're able to save and invest, it's crazy how much money you'll have long term. Now, if you've never gone to a investment calculator, go do it. Go check out the numbers. I mean, I mention this website all the time. If you go to Dave Ramsey and go to free tools and calculators and you go to investment calculator, they work the same. It's amazing. If you can treat it like a savings account too, if you want to put in a lower interest rate. But if you start to figure out how small amounts of money invested every 2 weeks when you get paid, or however your income comes in, whether it's monthly, whether you're someone like me, it comes in patches because I'm a real estate agent and my money doesn't come in every 2 weeks. But if you consistently earn an income, live within your means, don't go in debt, and don't overspend what your income is, it is amazing what will happen. So debt is not normal. No, you can get out of debt. You do not want to have debt. And again, having debt to start a business or to buy real estate, that's a little bit different, but you just have to understand it's just not normal. You just don't want to have debt. Number 3 is saving alone will make you rich. And I kind of feel like this one's sort of a silly one, because you'll see a lot of people talking about save, save, save. And the truth about it is this, is that yes, you do want to have some cash available to you. You do want to have some cash accessible, but that would only be for if you knew you were saving for a specific thing. So if you knew you were saving for a house, if you knew you were saving for a new car, if you knew you had some maintenance items coming up, because say you already owned a home and you had an older house and you needed a roof. These are things that you want to do. And I'm not talking about just saving cash, but you can invest it. You don't have to put everything into a retirement account. So sometimes saving enough cash that you can get to, then also taking extra money that you're saving and putting it in an investment that is also safe, that you don't have a huge likelihood of losing the money. You can do that as well. And so it's just not as accessible as cash. If you're someone who was really aggressive in wanting to pay off your home, and then your cash became having an equity line of credit for your house so that you had some accessible money for your house. You see a lot of these investment gurus are talking about how you should never pay off your house and you should always just keep borrowing that money because that money is never paid tax. And it's a whole different story on another day, but just know, you don't want to just save and have a bunch of money stuffed under your mattress. You want to be able to save it, invest it, and then have it get bigger and bigger pool and go from there. The next one is, of course, they're saying investing. This is another myth about investing is only for the rich. Well, I got my 24-year-old daughter already doing investing, and she's already done her Roth IRA now 2 years in a row, which was $7,000 last year, $7,000 this year, and you don't have to start off with a lot. And while she's doing that, we're also having her save up extra cash so that someday she can buy a house, invest in some other assets, and have some investments that are more short-term and not always long-term. I know for many years, I always felt like I was always saving for the long-term and I never had cash accessible to me to do things when I wanted to do them. And so you're trying to play both these games. But if you're doing the long-term retirement savings and you're also doing the more short-term and intermediate saving and investing, you can do that. And you don't have to be rich. She is by no means rich. She's 24 years old and she's doing it on a regular basis. My son, who's 28, he's doing it on a regular basis. And I have these conversations with people all the time about doing things on a regular basis. So you can do all these things without, saying it's impossible, that you have to be rich. Because again, it's amazing how $50, $100, $150 a month over a 20, 30, 40, 50-year time horizon will be a huge amount of money down the road. And item number 5, myth about keeping you poor is you can figure out money later. And yeah, you could figure out money later, but I'm telling you, if you figure out as young as humanly possible, the earlier the better. Again, the great part is if I can find you and you're 18 or 20 or 22 years old, better than if you're 40 or 42 or 62 years old, because time is on your side. And the longer you wait, the less wealthy you can become unless you figure out a way to make a lot more money. So the earlier you start, the less you have to work on it later. I just posted something the other day about $1 invested at 20 versus $1 invested at 30 versus $1 invested at 40, how much more valuable those dollars are when you invest them young. And it seems counterintuitive because when you're young, usually you're not maybe making as much money, but at the same time, hopefully you don't have as much overhead. Maybe you don't have children and the kids and other things that you can do. And the real game is to take action now, start now and go from there. So let me rephrase these 5 again. So number 1 was you need a high-paying job to get rich. Absolutely not true. Number 2, debt is normal. Everyone has it. No, debt is not normal, and you absolutely don't want to have it. Number 3, savings alone will make you rich. Well, we already said you got to invest, which leads right into number 4, which says investing is only for the rich. Well, those two things kind of go together. You need to have cash, you need to save, you need to invest, and it doesn't have to be for rich people only. And the last one is you can figure out money later. No, you need to figure out money now, yesterday, and the sooner the better. And why does all this matter? Why is this so important? Because these myths keep you in the rat race. They keep you in a position where they want you, which is in debt, relying on a job, relying on someone else. But when you know the truth, the question is, what are you going to do about all this? Follow the channel. Start watching the videos. We'll put content out there to start from the very basics in the very beginning. And like I've been saying lately, if I can get enough of you following and subscribing to this channel, I will put a class together so that you can learn all these things from the very beginning, where someone to start. So if you are someone that's my age, I'm 54, and you had one of your kids reach out to me and said, Brian, help them, tell them where to start. I will start from day 1 where you start all the way to all the things that you need to do. And I'm telling you, if you start younger and sooner, you will win. I promise you. So drop a comment. Let me know what you think about these myths. If there's any other things you have questions on or things that you may or may not believe, I love to hear what your thoughts on that. And don't forget, please, subscribe to the channel, DM me. I'm trying to build up a following because there's nothing more frustrating than me and in my business and my life when I watch people struggle financially, especially those of you that actually make pretty good money. I know lots of people that make great money. They just don't understand how money and finance works. And before you know it, you got too many toys and too many debts and all the things that we're talking about right here, where debt becomes normal for you and not good debt. So we got to get those things knocked out of the park. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Don't forget these 5 myths. They are keeping you poor and we can combat them easily. check out this video we did right here. Keep watching the channel. Go through the other videos and check out what we've got on there and reach out to me directly with any questions you have. I'm happy to help.